Hello and welcome to today's University of St. Francis webinar, Online Together, how USF supports online students like you. Thanks everybody for joining us today. My name is Dave and I'm going to be your host. So just a quick overview of what we are here to do today. We're going to be watching a recording of a previous webinar, but the content is going to be the same. And in the recording, you're going to meet members of the USF online support team. They're going to explain their own roles as well as additional members of the team and how each team member helps you on your journey toward an online degree at the University of St. Francis. There will be a chance to get your questions answered live. We will have a live Q&A session after the recording is finished with members of the team. And so at any time during the presentation today, you can click the Q&A icon on your screen and you can submit your question. You do not have to wait until the Q&A portion starts to submit your question. You can submit it anytime you see something that you want to know more about, and we'll handle it there at the end. So with that, I'm going to get the recording started, and then in about 20-ish minutes from now, we'll get going with the live Q&A. With that, let's introduce the three members of the USF online support team who are going to be speaking to us today. The first is Justin Burnett. He is an enrollment coach at the University of St. Francis, and you'll find out what that means here in a little bit. Justin has been with USF for about 2 years now and has 13 years of total experience in higher education serving students. So Justin, welcome. Tyhanna Harrison is next. She is a success coach at the University of St. Francis. And again, you'll find out what a success coach does a little bit later on. About a year and a half with us at USF, 14 years experience in higher education, helping students achieve their goals. So Tyhanna, good to have you with us. Our final presenter today is Elisia Garza. Again, about 2 years or so with us at the University of St. Francis and about 11 years of total professional experience within higher education. And so collectively, between these three members of our team, we've got about 40 years, 4 decades of experience serving students, helping them achieve their outcomes, to overcome obstacles, and progress on their path to a degree. So you're going to hear from each one, Justin, Tyhanna, and Elisia, about what they do to help students, as well as other folks that help support students. And as we thought about, well, what's kind of a good metaphor to talk about this online support team, we thought of that old board game, the game of life. You know, you start at the beginning of the game and you got your car and you have your little pegs, you put yourself in there, and then along the way as you progress through the game, you have different people added to your car to join you in the journey. And so we thought that was a great metaphor to explain USF and the online support team that is with you from the time you first request more information all the way through to graduation. And so with that, I'm going to turn the time to Justin, and he's going to get us started to talk about his role as an enrollment coach and how that supports online students at USF. So Justin, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. So basically here at USF, you're going to be assigned an enrollment coach. They're going to be available there to help you throughout the whole enrollment process. Our job is pretty simple. We're here to assist, basically ensure you're meeting deadlines, turn in any required admissions documents that's going to be needed. But there's not just me. There's definitely going to be a whole enrollment team here to help you. This means that not only your individual enrollment coach, if for some reason they're unavailable, basically any of our enrollment team folks will be available to help guide you through the journey here at USF. So part of the job of the enrollment coach is basically to get to know you, understand your educational backgrounds, maybe the current situation that you're in, and basically any of the career and educational goals that you may have. We're going to review that with you. We're going to understand your desired future expectations, basically help recommend the program that works best for you in your future. For myself, I was in the military for 9 years, right out of high school. So you could say I definitely started out as a very adult learner. When it came to college, I had multiple responsibilities, multiple obligations, and different priorities, not just including school. I feel that most of our students, they're typically in that exact same arena. They definitely like the idea of continuing education, but not sure if realistically if that can actually be done. My job showing you is going to be showing you a visible path to actually complete your educational goals while still taking care of your responsibilities, opening yourself up for opportunity, That's really what our programs here at USF are really all about. To me, throughout my military career, I always had folks that say, hey, there's always excuses out there. And I think that goes along with school. There's always going to be a good excuse not to go to school. So I guess my question for you guys, pretty simple. When a dream opportunity opens up or a position comes available, and the only qualification that you're missing is actually getting and having your education, what will be your excuse, not having that degree? So I can promise you it won't be easy, but with an enrollment team like ours, we've all been adult learners ourselves, so we all understand what it's like. We are going to be here to help get you to the finish line. So speaking of support, let's go to Elisia. She's going to go over one of the roles in our support team.
Thank you, Justin. And as you're progressing through enrollment here with University of St. Francis, you will also be assigned a transcript specialist who will be here to help you collect your transcripts if you're applying for virtual campus online programs. We will help you with looking up the schools that you've attended. We'll contact them and help you retrieve those transcripts. We will actually pay for the collection of your transcripts for online virtual campus students as well. So I know that for a lot of students, that's a great help. The transcript specialist will contact the universities to ensure that we do get the transcripts here on time, and that we also are able to evaluate them for transfer of credit by the admissions team. Overall, we're here to help you. We're here to support you. And we're going to be here to help you review all the admissions documents that we've received from you, make sure that that is compiled together, so that way it can be reviewed by the admissions team for acceptance to your program. We'll submit those documents and they will be reviewed. The transcript specialist is she's great. She will also help you with pre-evaluations of your transcripts. So if you've attended multiple colleges or universities and you think that you might have classes that may transfer over, the transcript specialist will take the time to evaluate those and do a pre-evaluation to give you a good estimate as far as what may or may not come over for you, which is a really wonderful thing, because if you have transfer of credit come over, then this helps our students by cutting down the time to earn the degree, as well as the overall cost of the program. I've actually had a student that I've worked with recently who needed help with ordering their transcripts, and they weren't able to pay the $20 to get their transcripts ordered because of cutbacks from work, just budget, money, things were tight. They had a lot of cutbacks at work due to COVID. And so we got a hold of the transcript specialist here at the university, and we were able to help the student retrieve those transcripts. The transcript specialist was able to get the form requests filled out and pay for the $20 to receive the transcripts and get those in. So we're here to help. Just simply, when times are tough, we're here to help you and help our students along to reach their goals. So speaking of support, let's go ahead and go back to Justin, who's going to talk to us a little bit more about financial aid and understanding students' options for funding as well.
All right, thanks, Elisia. Yeah, so after you're admitted, you're going to be assigned a financial aid counselor. He or she's going to review all your financial aid options with you, help you as far as understanding how financial aid is going to pay for school. They're going to review finance documents, anything additional that they may need, and explain any additional documents that may be required in the future as well. They're going to send you emails. They're going to try to reach out to you by phone. Basically ensure that you're meeting those deadlines as well in order for you to be successful at school. If you're not using financial aid, which we do have students that go that route as well, we do have a business office that's going to be able to not only assist as far as making payment plans, but also making payment plans that best suit you. For the most part here at USF, financial aid is a pretty simple process. We do have some situations that do arise. Not everything's always easy, right? We recently had a student, one of her student loans was actually showing in default. So she wasn't actually able to qualify for any type of financial aid. Long story short, basically what we did was we got in contact with her lender, found out there was actually just a small error made on her debt consolidation. So once we were able to get that debt consolidated, we were able to remove her default from her school and basically get her ready to go to classes. So this is, just another prime example of how through good communication with your enrollment team and your financial aid counselor, how we're able to overcome even some of the biggest obstacles. So that's something you can expect here from University of St. Francis and our team. Speaking of success, let's go to Tyhanna. She can definitely tell you more about the roles of a success coach. Success coach, let me try that again.
Thank you so much, Justin. So you will be assigned a personal success coach who will be your supports person from the second week of class. This individual, myself and Elisia, we are going to be there to help you with anything that you may come across throughout the program. So as a success coach, we do wear many hats. We become your main point of contact, and our goal is to help make it all the way to graduation and helping you reach your graduation goals. So our model is to help students with questions that they have in the classroom, resources, if it has to do with financial aid, anything that really comes up. If you, depending on your pathway, you can come to us regarding anything, or even just an individual to talk to. That's what we're here for, is we're trying to make it so that you don't feel alone while you're going to school online. You're not just a name here. We know who you are. We know about your background. Everyone pulls together and makes sure that this is the place to be and where you want to be as you go through your program. So just to kind of tell you a little bit of the story of one of my students, I had a student who started out in their program. They weren't where they wanted to be, and they struggled at the beginning where they weren't very successful. They ended up on academic probation, and then they were dismissed. Well, even though they were dismissed from the university, I continued to work with that student. We came up with a plan. We talked about what changes were going to be needed to make. He was able to talk to his spouse and really come up with a plan that was going to fit his needs and what he wanted to do. We put all of that together. We put those plans together, how his program was going to go, and we appealed. He was accepted back into the program, and as of June 26th of this year, he graduated with his degree. He is now doing everything that he wanted to do, the reason why he started this program, and he was able to do that because we continued to work with him even though things didn't work out the way he thought it would at the beginning. So that's just kind of an idea of what we do here at University of St. Francis and how we support our students no matter what the situation is. Our students are not just a name on a list. We are deeply invested with your success, and we are willing to partner with you and go that extra mile that you need us to go so that you can reach those goals. One of the things that we also do is we outline your personalized road map to graduation. Elisia is going to go ahead and continue on with that. So, Elisia.
Thank you, Tyhanna. So as Tyhanna mentioned to you, as your success coach, we do wear very many hats, including academic advisor. So in addition to getting to know you and supporting you with any aspect of your program, we are also here to help you out. Tyhanna and I will map out a program plan schedule for you so you are set up for success based on your needs. This helps you only take the classes that you need. This will save you and our students, this saves our students just on money and as well as time to earn the degree. So that way you're not taking classes that won't apply to your program. We will help you with any schedule adjustments that you need, whether it's to speed up the time to earn the degree or even move down to part-time or even take a break. For instance, I had a student that was expecting her first baby, and she wanted to take some time off from her program to bond and get used to just being a new mom. So in advance, we were able to set up a plan for her to take the spring semester off. We ensured that her financial aid would not be impacted and helped her seamlessly return back into her program for the summer semester. I also had another student of mine that was in the sales industry and had a busy season during the fall months. And I was able to help the student by adjusting their schedule to part-time during the busy season so they can still progress forward in their program instead of staying stagnant. Once the busy season was over, I was able to move the student back to full-time for the rest of their program, ensuring he's able to graduate as quickly as possible. Furthermore, if you are in an education licensure program, we will help ensure that you're aware of the licensing requirements that you need to meet for the state as well. So mapping out an academic plan to graduation really helps so we can get you to graduation as quickly as possible to help you save on time to earn the degree so you can move forward in your career. I believe there was also a question that had popped up regarding, financially, if you needed to take a break and then come back into the next session, so that way you had the funds to pay for classes. Yes, we can adjust and work with your schedule based on what your needs are. So we also work closely with the financial aid counselors to ensure that there is awareness on any financial aid impact on your schedule. So now Tyhanna will tell you a little bit more about some resources that we have available for our students.
Thank you, Elisia. The resources mentioned in this session are just a few that are available to you as a USF alumni, USF student and alumni. One of the main things that we have is our Career Development Center. This center has multiple resources that we provide for you, that we help you with, from resumes to interview preparation, job search assistance. We also have something that's called Cougar Readiness workshops. These are different workshops that you can go to, you can pull up and go to on your own time. We also have a mentoring program, and if you are looking at some of our undergraduate programs and then wanting to go to a graduate program, we also have our graduate school research. So those are just a few things that our Career Development Center offers. One of the main things that they offer is a database called Handshake. This is where you can go and create your own profile. It's linked right with your account here with USF, and you can load in your degrees, you can load in all the information and try to find different things within the area that you're looking for a job. And then this is also a way that you communicate with the Career Development Center and setting up those appointments or those meetings and discussing anything that would help with you reaching the goals, whether it's climbing up the corporate ladder or, going to that next level of your job. They're there to help you out with that. While you're in class, one of the biggest resources, not only just your success coach, is going to be your instructors. Our instructors are truly amazing. They care about you as an individual. They care about what's happening with you, and they really want you to reach out to them. Let them know what's going on. You're not going to be a name to them. We keep that small class size for that specific reason. So they're also going to hold you to that higher expectation when it comes to providing timely communication, guidance, and encouragement as you progress through your classes. So don't be afraid to reach out to them and email them. They're there for you for that reason. We also offer tutoring services on campus if you're close to the Fort Wayne campus, or online. Smart Thinking is our online tutoring service. I enjoy Smart Thinking. I've used it myself. It's really great because of the fact that if you have the time, you can do one-on-one tutoring with them. If you don't have the time, you can submit it through the system. It'll go to an individual, they'll evaluate it, and in a couple of days, they'll get it back to you with explanations and revisions. So that's one of the great things about our tutoring services that we have. The other thing is our student accountability services. They're here to support any online students if you have disabilities, different things that are coming up that may not be the norm, something new. We're here to help provide you with those services. So really anything you need as a student, you can reach out to your success coach, myself or Elisia, and we can be able to be there for you and point you in the right direction. I've had many students just like you who need different resources, and there may not be the same resources all the time, but we talk about those during our phone calls and we go over those needs that you may have. So depending on your situation, we may suggest one thing or the other, but we don't have a one-size-fit-all model. We are here to make sure that we ensure that the Career Development Center and all of our many resources are there for you in your time of need. So working with your success coach and understanding what you need is key to working towards success in your field. So as everything that we've gone over today, as you can see, while you're here as a student at USF, you're not alone. We're all here to support you and help build you up to reach your goals of your degree, your career, and graduation. When you first start out, you have your enrollment coach. They're there to help guide you through the entire enrollment process, figuring out what's going to work with you based off of your goals. They're going to then help you get in contact with the enrollment transcript specialist. She's going to be there to help you request those transcripts, do any evaluations that you may have. And then, your second point of contact is going to be your success coach. After the first week of class, your success coach is going to become your main point of contact, and we're going to be wearing those many different hats that we have, whether it's academic advising, whether it's talking about financing, whether it's talking about, I need that break, I need time off, I have this going on. We are here for you no matter what. So as we wear those multiple hats for you, whether it's being a cheerleader or talking about different things, we're going to make sure that you are focused on school and not having to worry about those little things. And some of those little things could be registration or reaching out to someone because you don't have time to reach out to them, and we're going to be able to be there to support you. So as I said, this team, we are here in supporting you and making sure that you reach that goal that you've set up and going that extra mile.
Just a quick reminder that everything that we've talked about, again, is to get you excited and motivated to start classes with us at the University of St. Francis. And that next start date is coming up. It's October 19th. And so we're happy to take any questions that you have now in general about USF, but we'd also love to dig in more about your specific situation. And so please give us a call, 888-737-6587, or send us an email at info@online.sf.edu. We'd love to hear from you and talk more about your particular situation. We've also set up a website where you can get a sneak peek at what it's like to be an online USF student, and that's online.sf.edu/online-learning. So that's a great place where you can go. You can get familiar with the online tools that are available. How do I see my assignments? How do I submit a quiz or a test? How do I connect with professors and classmates and that sort of thing? All of that is available on that website. So we're going to make sure to put those links in the chat as well for you to take advantage of. And again, the goal of all this is not only to start, but to finish, to help you get to that graduation day and to celebrate together in this achievement that you have made. So now we're going to switch to our Q&A. We've got Tyhanna and Elisia live with us. Ladies, hello, glad to have you. Our guy Justin is out today, so hoping to see him back soon. But pinch hitting for Justin today, we have the great Courtney Cummins, who's a member of our enrollment team. Courtney, if I could have you turn your camera on and just introduce yourself to our attendees here today. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do for the University of St. Francis.
Of course. Thank you so much for that intro. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney. I'm the enrollment manager for our support team here with University of St. Francis. So Justin and our other enrollment coaches, as well as Tyhanna and Elisia, and the enrollment specialist who helps with transcripts and transfer of credits, kind of report up to me. So they're all leaders in their own right, but I'm the kind of the leader of that team. And as you saw in the recording, we're all here to help and support you. So I'm glad to be able to participate in this Q&A session for you today.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Courtney. If you joined us a little bit late, that's perfectly fine. You can click the Q&A icon on your screen and submit a question. We've already got some in the Q&A now, and so thanks to everybody who's submitted questions so far, and we've got a few minutes for some more. Courtney, I'm actually going to start with you, so just kind of throwing you right into it now. We heard Justin talk about financial aid in the recording, and a question that you probably get a lot is, what impact, if any, has COVID-19 had on financial aid? How would you answer that?
Yes, that's a great question. Of course, with all the craziness this year has thrown us with the pandemic. And then, of course, finances always being a concern and something we want to make sure is squared away for our students prior to them starting a program. The good news, though, is that while COVID has impacted many other aspects of our lives this year, the financial aid process and that opportunity has not changed at all, fortunately. So a great thing about looking at a fully online program here with University of St. Francis is the opportunity to apply for and be eligible for federal financial aid is on a rolling basis. So we have the opportunity to start our classes at 6 different times throughout the year. And as David mentioned in the slide, our next start date is October 19th. You have not missed any deadlines for financial aid for looking to potentially start on that date, as that application is always available. Whereas with a traditional, if you will, schedule with looking at just having the opportunity to start in August or in January on a campus setting, there are specific times that financial aid would need to be taken care of for that, but that's not the case for our online students. And of course, with any specific questions you would have regarding your financial aid, we're happy to talk through those with you or connect you with our financial aid advisors as necessary.
Okay, all right, that's great. Thanks for that, Courtney. Elisia, I'm going to send the next question your way. You talked in the recording about transcripts and transcript fees and covering those fees. And so I'm seeing questions about, is there a cap on those fees? Are there any sort of stipulations in terms of the number of transcripts that can be paid for, or just any other requirements that people need to be aware of?
That is actually a great question. We don't have any caps associated with how many transcripts that we'll obtain for a student. There's no cap on the fee associated with ordering transcripts as well. We will order transcripts from every school that a student has attended, and regardless if the students took classes online or on campus. We want to receive all transcripts from every school a student has attended, so that way we can evaluate those transcripts and see if anything will transfer over for them.
Okay, that sounds great. And so I think just as a follow-up right to that, I'm seeing a question from Eric, who said, if I previously attended USF on campus, will those credits and any previously accepted transfer credits still be applicable to an online degree from USF? So Elisia, how would you answer Eric?
That is a great question as well. And we will definitely evaluate those classes that the student took on ground with USF. We do want to evaluate those and see if any of those classes would transfer over into the virtual campus program.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Thanks, Elisia, and thanks, Eric, for that follow-up. That's great. Tyhanna, I'm going to turn the time to you for this next question. Obviously, in your role as a success coach, I see questions about what is a success coach going to know? Are they going to have access to my grades or other information about me? And how do they help me if things start to get overwhelming? So, Tyhanna, how would you answer those questions?
That is a great question to ask. And to your question, we will be able to see everything that is going on in your classroom. The only thing that we will not be able to see is any emails back and forth between yourself and your instructor. So if things do get overwhelmed and you are not quite sure how to structure things or to plan, you can reach out to myself or Elisia. We will sit down with you, look over everything. We'll talk to you on the phone and kind of create a plan that'll work with you, your schedule, and see what it is that you need. Or, even if we have to come up with a plan on how you're going to reach out to your instructors, because there are many different things that are going on and you may not, have the specific time and you may need extra time. So we will work with you to create a plan for you to then go back to either your instructor or come up with an action plan of different things that you can do to be more oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name, to be more successful here in the online environment. So just let us know if there's anything more you need. We can look at your grades, we can look at assignments, and just to make sure that there's a clear understanding in everything that you're doing online.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Tyhanna. Let's see, Courtney, I'm going to send this next question your way. One of the, it can be a two-edged sword when you've got a university that has a lot of degree options. In USF, with different degrees, there are different tracks or different concentrations that are available to people. And so what advice would you give to someone who says, I think I want a degree, say, in business, but I've got a few options and I'm not sure which one is really the best one for me. How would you advise someone in that situation, Courtney?
Yes, that is an excellent question. We do offer several different options in this example with the business program, but with all of our degrees really. So that's where our enrollment coach is going to have that initial conversation with you, determine what your background looks like, what your future goals are, what your interests are, and be able to point you in the right direction as to which degree is going to be the best fit for you. If there are really nuanced questions that you have regarding different courses, if it's something we're not able to answer right off the bat, we can certainly check with our program directors or instructors as well to really determine what's going to be the best option for you and ensure you're in a program that's going to best meet your goals for the future.
Okay, awesome. That's great, Courtney. Thank you. Elisia, I'm seeing another question on transfer credits. John asks, how far back do credits transfer? And if a person lives out of state, how does out-of-state tuition apply to online classes? So, Elisia, what answer would you have for John in that case?
Well, we definitely want to evaluate all transcripts regardless of how old they are. However, typically we accept transfer credits for classes that have been taken within 5 years. However, if you do have transcripts that are older than 5 years, we still want to obtain those. We want to take a look at those as well. Now, what was the second part of that question? I'm
so
sorry.
The second part of the question is, if a person lives out of state, how does out-of-state tuition apply to online classes? And so I think John's just looking to, how much do I want to pay? I'm not in Indiana where the University of St. Francis is. Does that impact my tuition payment for an online class?
That is a great question, and thank you for clarifying that. We have a flat fee for tuition. So regardless of, with the virtual campus program, regardless if you are out of state or in state, for virtual campus programs only, there's just the flat fee for tuition.
Okay, excellent. That's great. Thanks, Elisia, and thanks, John, for those questions. We've got time for a couple more questions, so if you haven't already, please feel free to use the Q&A. Thanks for the questions so far. This has been a great discussion. Tyhanna, I'm going to go back to you. You mentioned about career services and the career help that's available for students. Is that something that people only have access to when they get closer to graduation, or is it something that people can access anytime during their program?
Thank you. That's a really good question. No, you do not have to wait until graduation to access any career help. As soon as you're, excuse me, you're admitted into the program, you are able to start accessing career help. When we have our advising appointments, Elisia and I, we will actually go through all the different resources you have to right away, and you will be able to go ahead and start working with our Career Development Center, set up your account on Handshake, go to any coaching, anything that you feel you need at that time, and throughout your program, and even when you're an alumni, you'll be able to have access to all of those different platforms.
All right, excellent, Tyhanna. Thank you for that. I think we've got time for one more question, and it's something that each of you can have a chance to weigh in on. And again, we live in a time where people have so many choices. There's so many places for people to go to college, both online and on campus. And so I just want each of your perspective on what makes USF's support structure different from or better than other schools. Particularly, a lot of people, hey, I'm new to online, I'm feeling a little bit nervous, and so how does USF's approach differ from other schools that I might be considering? So again, I think each of you can weigh in on this. Courtney, how about I start with you, and then Elisia, and then we'll finish with Tyhanna.
Okay, sounds great. And that's such a fair question with our landscape being as it is, and the many options folks have now for looking into an institution to continue their education. I think the way I would answer that, and in my experience with University of St. Francis, what really sets us apart, and I hope I'm not stealing Tyhanna or Elisia's answers here, but it's the people here. You've had the opportunity to hear from us here today, but the people at the University of St. Francis at large are so dedicated to the success of our students, to continual improvement, to ensure our students have the best possible experience they can, both from, of course, an educational standpoint, but also challenging our students to grow as people. So I think that that's one thing that really sets us apart. And with the other institutions I've worked at the past, it's something that is really different and amazing about the University of St. Francis.
That's great, Courtney. Thanks. Elisia, what's your, how would you answer that question?
I think that's a great question. And to follow up with what Courtney is explaining, with just the people here at University of St. Francis, I think another thing that really sets us aside is the fact that, we are a smaller university. So because of that, professors as well as your academic team has the opportunity to really get to know our students, a little bit more on a personal basis and have more communication with our students as well. I think another thing that sets us aside is the fact that students will have an academic team that's going to follow them from the genesis of them applying to the school all the way through graduation. So I think that is a really key element that makes things nice for students, is the fact that you have individuals that you can go to if you have questions. If we don't have the answers, we can guide students in the right direction and get them the help that they need. So, you have your enrollment coach like Justin, who is there for students to help them in the deciding process of gathering information, figuring out which program is going to best fit their needs for their career goals. You have your success coaches like myself and Tyhanna that are there and available for students once a student begins their program all the way through graduation, to help them get all the resources that they need and to help them be successful in their program. And then also the instructors are there as well for students to help them in the classroom if they have questions. Even though the student is in a virtual campus setting, they're not left alone in cyberspace to fend for themselves. They have individuals that they can go to get help if they need it.
Okay, that's great, Elisia. Thanks so much. All right, Tyhanna, last up in terms of your take on how USF support structure is different from other schools people might be considering.
Okay. I believe that everything that Courtney and Elisia both have said are great attributes of what we do here at University of St. Francis and what makes us different. Another thing that makes us different is when you contact us, we're going to get back into contact with you as soon as we possibly can. We value you, we value your time, and we want to make sure that not only do your questions get answered, but also do we get back to you in that timely fashion. We are, as everyone has alluded to, we are like a family. We care about you. We want to make sure that you get what you need to be successful. And we also don't want you to have to worry about the little details. We're there to help smooth those little details out for you, so that way you're able to focus on what you need to focus on, which is your classwork, your degree, and moving on to that next level that you're looking for. So overall, University of St. Francis as a whole, I feel does something different than what other institutions do, and give you great people who have experience and being able to support you as you go through your programs from start to beginning, from beginning to end. So don't hesitate to give us a call, let us know anything that you need, and we'll be sure to be there for you.
All right, Tyhanna, thank you. Elisia, thank you. Courtney, thank you for your time and for sharing your expertise and your perspective with us. And thanks to all of you out there for attending. We appreciate your time, your attention, and your questions. We had a really great Q&A session today. So before we go, just one more time, just kind of saying again, we've talked at a high level about how this team can support you, and we'd love to connect with you and speak more about your particular situation and how we can assist you on this road to graduation in time for the next start date on October 19th. And so we've re-put it there in the chat. Our phone number, 888-737-6587. You can also send us an email, info@online.sf.edu, and we'd love to dig in deeper about how we can assist you. How can we help you with transfer credits? What's your prior college experience been like? And how can we build upon that as you progress toward your degree? We've also put a couple of links in the chat again. One is to online.sf.edu/online-learning, where you can get a sneak peek of what it's like to be an online student and the software that's available and just get familiar with the system. And if you feel comfortable and you want to go ahead and start your online application, that's perfectly fine as well. We've put a link to the application page, online.sf.edu/apply, and that is there for you as well. So one last time, Courtney, Elisia, Tyhanna, thank you, and thanks to all of you for attending today. Please stay safe. Have a great rest of your day and week. Take care, everybody.